Hello all, Jeff here with a new video. Welcome to part 6 of the Supercars Cup Series on Forza Motorsport 7. Today you're going to see the first 2 races. You may be thinking, hang on, how come you've only been showing 1 race from each round? Things have changed a little here because there are only 13 people that checked in for this series, and all of us decided we spoke to ESL and we were like, look, there's only 13 of us, we want to do 3 races, not 2 as per last week, and ESL's like, alright, how about we do all 3 races, collisions off, all 13 of us in the one lobby, and yeah, it happened. So Suzuka is race 1, Lil Skeeter Boss on pole, South Ace 2nd, Reckless 3rd, Vermin 4th, myself and 5th, and we've all gone off at turns 1 and 2. Dopius grabs the position. Oh, it's a bit little, Reckless got in the sand. I got in the sand slightly. Dopius gets in front, but I have stayed in 5th place as a result. So yeah, 13 people in this lobby. Normally it'd be like lobbies of 8 for round 1, and then round 2, then round 3, and so race 3 would be the only race with collisions on. But for this exception, since the end of the Cup Series, ESL's like, do you know what? All 3 races, collisions on, and we have a bit of a battle here. But yeah, so whether previously it was eliminator races, and like the top 3 from the last race will get all the goodies. Anyway, Lil Skeeter Boss has been given the tap by Dopiest. But yeah, for this round it's like the E Series, so it's all based on total accumulated points for the 3 races. So yeah, Lil Skeeter Boss got given a bit of a tap by Dopiest. But you may be wondering, why am I not showing other people? Well, I ran out of time to save the replay for this race. Thanks, turn 10. But yeah, at least you get to see more of the races at Monza and Bathurst. Now the race at Bathurst, the last race, that will be in a separate video, just because, it does take a while to edit these videos. But there are 13 people. We go in the 130R. Dopius gets on the grass, and that's 2nd place, just like that. As we go into the chicane, South Ace got a bit of a lead going on for him. He just needs to keep the car straight, and you never know, he might pull a win. However, Magpie Pete hasn't even bothered getting off the line. There he is. He's probably went to the toilet or something. And look at the map on the bottom left. He has collected Vermin and Max. Oh, it's just one of those things where common sense needs to prevail. If they haven't started, they need to get kicked or ghosted like Gran Turismo. But anyway, we've got a battle for the lead here. I've locked the brakes. I've given South Ace a slight tap. I was a lot later on the brakes compared to South Ace. I back off because, I don't like making positions up like that. So it's play on from this point of view. So South Ace in this really, really quick straight section. Well, it's not really straight. Play out right hands. Then we go in the spoon curve. So South Ace is using all the track here. He's actually got the back sliding a fair bit. He's sliding a lot. He's on the curb, and that's going to give me first position as we go down the back straight. But South Ace is still right up behind me here. So let's go to 130R, fastest corner on the track. And one thing I noticed, he actually went a lot faster there. As we go into the chicane, he's out-braked himself, and he's going to go straight into the wall. Oh, it's a shame. I was looking forward to another battle with him. But what can you do? Anyway, I go to lap 5. I end up pitting. So I end up pitting and still got the lead at the start of lap 6. So South Ace had pitted before me. Now I actually saw, just as I was pitting, I was getting very close to a back marker, Giorgio. Apparently he's only brand new to Forza. Before these races, he was saying he was using all the assists, so it's basically his first race with basically no assists. And you'll notice as we go into Degner 2, He's in the sand and he's going to get back on the track. He's sliding and I've got no choice but to punt him. I mean, I'm sorry, mate, but it's a bit hard when when you're in the middle of the track. But yeah, the poor bloke, for his first race with no assist, it was going to hairpin. He's completely lost it here. Look at that, smashes into the tyre wall. Oh, I mean, I just know that he caused a bit more dramas further on, but unfortunately I can't show you because turn 10 wouldn't let me save the replay. But we go out of the chicane at lap 9, do a little celebratory slide as you do. But yeah, that is the win for myself. South Ace is going to finish second and Dopiest is going to finish third. That actually sounds very familiar because that's what happens in most races. Fourth place was Max Power, then it was Rod, then Reckless, Little Skeeter Boss, Vermin, Sheepdeck, Logie Bear, and Meravinian is shown as a DNF because he forgot to make his compulsory pit stop. So Giorgio will end up being 12th, and Magpie Pete, well, he had a DNF after not even starting the race. And there's the 1970s Sebastian Vettel driver gear worn by myself, celebrating the win. So next up is Monza, and we have reverse grid. Magpie Pete, who had a DNF, he's not here, so it's just 12 guys now. First row of the grid, Meravinian NZ, and in P2 we have Giorgio Spondu. So yeah, Meravinian forgot the pit, which is why he was classified as a DNF, hence why he's on P1. Second row of the grid, we've got the Craig Lance 2018 livery driven by Logie Bear 047, and in P4 we have Sheep Dip 41. Same livery as Dopius, except he has 151 on the door. So on the third row of the grid we have FRCA Vermin, Craig Lance 2016 livery, and in P6 we have Lil Skeeter Boss. Fourth row of the grid we have HCCR Reckless in P7 and FRCA Rod in P8. Fifth row of the grid, Max Power 974. Disconnected, which is why you can't see him there, unfortunately. HCCR Dopiest in P10, same livery as Sheep Dip, except 969 on the door. And finally, on the sixth row of the grid, we have in P11 South Ace, and in P12, and last is myself. Yep, if Magpie Pete was still interested in doing these races, he would have been P1 and I would have been P13, but still, more cars than what you see in an E-Series race, which is a good thing. Anyway, as you can see, the bright green car in front of South Ace, that is Max Power 974. As soon as it hits go, he's gone. Poor bloke. I mean, round one, he was in one of the eliminators at Spa, he was P3 and got disconnected mid-race, which was a shame. Anyway, Giorgio Spondu is just slowed up. He knows nothing's going to happen. All of a sudden, 4 wide at the chicane. Giorgio's had a spin, still 4 wide. And Reckless, he's had a bit of a spin. 4 wide doesn't work at Monza unless you're on the front straight. But anyway, that's Monza for you. The collision assist doing its work. All of a sudden, we've got a heap of people off at Curva Grande, Meravinian, Rod, and Dopiest. They've all hit each other. Reckless has gone off. He actually tapped South Ace. Now South Ace has tapped Vermin. I capitalised, but Vermin didn't see me coming. I'm like, alright, I'll back off. Got wheels on the grass. I don't want to make it any worse. As we go out of the first lesmo, there's a bit of contact between myself and South Ace. He backs off a little, and I just got on the brakes early because I didn't want to hit Vermin. All of a sudden, Logie Bear, he was in the lead. He's in the sand, so bad luck for him. But yeah, I've made a lot of positions here. I was P12 and now I'm P4, and this is the first lap of the race, and this isn't your general public hopper with all the rammers. I get a bit of a tap. Little Skeeter Boss has hit the sand at Ascari, so P3 now, and now I've got the run on Vermin here, and I'm going to grab P2. Not bad for a first lap, and this is reverse grid, so that is very promising. It just shows you just need to stay out of the carnage and you'll gain positions just like that. So yeah, it's a very good start for myself. Very happy with it. Now with Rod having that little incident at Curva Grande, he's decided to go in the pit straight away and see what he can do. Little Skeeter Boss, with his incident at Ascari, he says, alright, let's pit as well. Anyway, we go to the Retifilio chicane. I'll lock the brakes up a little. It's not too bad though. I'm right up behind Sheep Dip now. He gets on the curb and he struggles to get the power to the ground. However, he's still got the lead as we approach Curva Grande. South Ace, close company. And Vermin, I'm pretty sure, is in 4th place. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But Sheep Dip has outbraked himself and he's in the tyre wall, and that's given me the lead in lap 2. We go on board with Reckless. So there's a fair bit more going on here. Logie Bear, he's done the same thing. He's hit the tyre wall at the chicane. Same thing that Sheep Dip did. So yeah, he hasn't had much luck since losing the lead. As we go on board with Dopiest. He's right behind Vermin here. So yeah, he was on the brakes a lot later than what Vermin was. He thinks about making the move at the second Lesmo. Does he get it done? Oh yes, he does actually. Nice move. You know, he used a bit too much of the curb, but he's through, so he's the only one that's bet me so far in the Cup Series, in a Cup Series race. Anyway, this is Meravinian. He's a bit of a rookie to this game, so yeah, his driving isn't very flash. As you'll see here, he just brakes way too late, and he's in the sand and in the tyres. Yeah, yep, anyone can enter this Cup Series, and sometimes you just have these guys who just, aren't that good at the game. So as you can see, Rod, he's made his pit stop and he's about to get by Meravinian just because he doesn't have much experience. If we were going by the eliminator system we had for every other Cup Series event, we wouldn't have seen him or Giorgio. But anyway, and this is Logie Bear. He's about to make his pit stop just because he's had a bit of a bad run. He goes out of the pits. Guess what he does? He's gone way too late at Delarogier again. He's not having a good run. It's almost like as bad as Craig Lowndes' run today, to be honest, which is a shame because, that livery is the one that Craig Lowndes drove to Bathurst victory this year. Anyway, back on board with myself. It's lap 3, and I decide, you know what, I'm in the lead. Let's pit. And South Ace and Dopiest think exactly the same thing. Let's pit as well. So the top 3, they've all pitted, and that gives Vermin the lead. 2016 Craig Lowndes livery, looking pretty good. But yeah, Vermin will take over the lead for now, so we'll see what happens when all the pits cycle out. And I'm pretty sure that was Reckless right behind him. We go out of the pits in P4, so yep, so I'm pretty sure it was Vermin, Reckless and Sheep Dip in the top 3 at the moment. Let's get into that corner nicely, and you'll find that Dopiest has come out just in front of Rod. So that will be a bit of a talking point. Rod, smokes him up at the out of Retifilio. But yeah, here we go. Meravinian. So he doesn't have much experience with Forza, and it shows here. He's gone off at the first Lesmo. Yeah, as I said before, him and Giorgio, they wouldn't be in these races if it was the Eliminator. So it would have been in the first race, but as you can see, Giorgio hit the tyres and he's off, and he just goes straight into the fence again. Oh, the poor bloke. These guys can't take a trick, If it was before, they would have had ghost races. They wouldn't have to worry about making contact with others, but with the Eliminators, they would have only done one race. So at least they get to do all 3, I guess, but sometimes you have to dodge them. Anyway, back with Vermin. He's in the lead at the moment. He goes into Ascari. He takes a bit of curb here. He's lost it a bit there, and he goes wide into the sand. He just keeps the pedal to the metal, and he does have a fair gap, but in the same sense, you do have to do one compulsory pit stop. So he's decided, do you know what? Let's get the pit stop out of the way. see what happens. Yeah. Anyway, back on board with Giorgio. That is such a weird line into the chicane. Oh, poor bloke. You did say this is pretty much the first time he's ever played Forza with no assists like traction control and ABS, and it just shows that him and Meravinian, you know, they're struggling. It shows that they haven't had much practice. They probably haven't played this game too much, to be honest. As you can see, they're both off, and Giorgio is going to make the move. And here, Meravinian, what happens to him? Well, look at this. They've both done the same thing again. Both Lesmos, they're both into the sand. Yeah, that's going to be a theme for this race, to be honest. Anyway, Vermin, he's come out of the pits just behind Little Skeeter Boss. So, yeah. I think that was P8 he's in at the moment. So, yeah. We'll just see what happens with him. But, as we go on board with Reckless, and that is Sheep Dip that has gone off the track at the second Lesmo, like Meravinian and Giorgio. So Reckless is going to think about making the move here. He's definitely got the momentum and the slipstream, but does he get it done? He gives him a bit of a tap, actually. He's given Sheep Dip the tap. Oh, he's just survived it, to be honest. So yeah, it's all on here. It's all fair, well, kind of fair. There's a bit of contact, but Reckless, yeah, he has driven a little recklessly at times during this series, but as long as you race fair, that's fine. As we go on the Parabolica, Reckless has just outbraked himself. And, yeah, he's in the sand at the Parabolica. If this runoff wasn't there, that would be so much worse for him. Who knows what would have happened to him, but he's got all that work to do now. However, he's like, you know what, let's pit. May as well. Anyway, back on board with myself. It's the end of the 5th lap. As you can see, Sheep Dip has pitted. Well, actually, Sheep Dip pitted at the same time as Reckless. They were both in the lead, actually. But now, I'm going to take over the lead. And it's going to be South Ace in P2, Dopiest P3, and Rod in P4. As we start the second half of the race. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens. I mean, South Ace, he's in really close company. He has been doing faster laps than me, but those laps he was doing were dirty. Anyway, back on board with Meravinian, and I think you know what's gonna happen next. He's gonna, you know, completely forget about the braking point at the Della Roggier chicane, as you can see here, and he's airborne. He's having a bit of a bad run. Yeah, poor bloke. Yeah, it's just a shame, but you know, at least these guys get to do more than one race, I guess. So they'll live and learn. Hopefully they play Forza 7 a bit more, and they could be a lot better drivers in next year's Cup Series. You just never know. Anyway, Giorgio Spondu, he's off at the first Lesmo. He actually didn't spin that time, luckily. Anyway, and all of a sudden he just forgets the braking point at the second Lesmo again. Rear wheels up in the air. And, yeah, the Star Wars livery from 2015 Bathurst 1000 that HRT used. And, yep, Chewbacca. Chewbacca must be driving. He can't speak properly. He obviously can't drive properly. Sorry, Giorgio. But, anyway, on board with Rod, and he's right up behind Dopiest here. So they're going to have a fairly good battle here. So, you know, Rod has been behind Dopiest ever since Dopiest came out of the pits. So here we go. Rod has got the slipstream at the front straight. He's going to make a move at Redifilio. He needs to get on the brakes nice and late, but nah, not going to happen here. He stays behind. And as you can see, myself and South Ace are in the background. Dopey smokes the wheels out of the chicane. Rod's going to think about making the move at Curva Grande. Does he get it done? Well, yes. Yes, he does. So he's in P3 now. Dopeyest P4. Back on board with myself. Lap 7. You're going to see Meravinian. He's had another off at Della Roggier. He backs off. He knows the fast guys are coming, so he just stays out of it, which is good to see. Unlike a public hopper where you know, the back marshals will just punt you off the track, which is no fun. Anyway, Rod, Dopius, they continue their battle. You know, it's going to be very close here, so pretty sure this is lap 7 now, so, you know, 4 laps to go. We've got a fairly good battle going on here, and yeah, Dopius right up behind Rod now. As you can see, there's Merovingian up ahead. They're going to have to lap him. Side by side under the oval. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. And Merovingian, he's off. He's really off. In the sand, he nearly gets in both Dopius and Rod's way. That's all good. He's out of the way. I mean, you kind of, well, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen because, you know, both of these guys are evenly matched, so you just never know what's going to happen. They both lock a brake there as we go out of the Parabolica. Who's got the better run? Dopius gets a bit slidey, so yep, Rod will have the better run on the main straight, but will we get close to him with the slipstream? It's kind of getting close here. You just don't know. But in the same sense, the slipstream on Forza isn't as strong as it is on other games. Does Rod think about making the move? No, he doesn't. But it's on here, trust me. It is on for the last spot of the podium. So we'll go back to that because there's more action happening on this track. On board, as we show Reckless, he's completely missed the chicane. That's unlike him. Well, it was kind of reckless, but in the same sense, oh, he's sliding, but I thought he'd be driving a bit better than Merovingian and Giorgio, to be honest. Anyway, on board with Sheep Dip, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sheep Dip. Merovingian, he's off again. Yep, Sheep Dip. So, yeah. And here is Giorgio Spondu. How's he going? Well, that's a clear cut at Ascari. You know, it's yeah. Poor bloke has spun it. Oh no. That's what inexperience does. He's off the track. I've gone by him. We've both lapped. I've lapped 2 guys. There's signs all over the joint. I don't know what happened there. Probably Giorgio or Merovingian put them out there. Anyway, as we go back to the battle for P3, Giorgio's just getting himself sorted now. But yeah, all these signs, I don't know where they came from, but anyway. So it is Dopius in P3, Rod in P4. So, yeah, it's the end of lap 8, I'm pretty sure. So, you just don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, it's lap 7 actually, I'm pretty sure. I apologise. Anyway, so it is Vermin and Skeeter Boss. It's start of lap 9 now. Yeah, I'm a bit confused here. Anyway, Vermin locks a brake. Skeeter brakes way too late, and that's his chances of that position gone. So, unfortunate that happened, but what can you do? Anyway, we go back to Logie Bear. I wanted to properly show this Craig Lowndes 2018 livery. It's basically, this is the livery that won this year's Bathurst 1000. Although that was the ZB Commodore, which is not on Forza yet. 2018 livery looks pretty good on the VF if you ask me, but Logie Bear circling around. He's in either P8 or P9. He doesn't have anyone to race with at the moment, but he's circulating. I think this is his first Cup Series event, the very last one, so at least he's here, having a go. He was in the lead for a bit, but after getting on the sand, well, that was his chances of being with the front guys gone. Anyway, so back on board with Rod right up behind Dopius here. So, you know, lap 9, you know, Dopius got on the sand there, so that's going to give Rod the invitation to try and get P3 back as we go downhill and we're about to reach the bridge under the oval. Does he make the move stick? He's around the outside this time, however. He's got all the momentum. Dopius just backs off. He knows Rod is faster at this point. Dopius does give Rod a tap, but it didn't affect him at all, which is good. Dopius just gets a bit slidey on the curb, But there goes Rod. So that's a really good move from Rod. So he's in P3. So he's been going alright as of late in the Cup Series. He's been right up there with us, which is really good. Really good to see. He's getting better and better, which is, it's good seeing more guys being up at the front. Anyway, as we look at Sheep Dip, he's gone by Giorgio Spondu, who is a lap down. However, Giorgio Spondu, he's not having the best of times. No ABS, no traction control for the first time apparently for this guy. And it just shows as we go down the front straight and down into the braking point of the chicane, he just forgets to brake, and guess what? He's given Sheep Dip the punt. You can nearly call it a ram, but it's not deliberate. That's a punt. Poor Sheep Dip, he just doesn't have any luck. And the back markers are, playing a pivotal part of this race. And, Giorgio's like, you know what, go by. I'm not that good at this game. Luckily, no one else was behind to pinch the spot from Sheep Dip. Anyway, start of the last lap. I'm still in the lead. I've actually pulled a bit of a lead on South Ace as we go in the Rettifilio. So, yep. It looks like another win from myself. But it is on for young and old for the other podium positions. You may be thinking, how? South Ace has got a bit of a gap on Rod. Well, does he? Let's have a look. South Ace does indeed have a fair gap on Rod. So, yep, we're on board with Rod, who's in P3. South Ace, yep, he's in P2 at the moment. As we go into the Della Roggio chicane, here we go. So, yep, South Ace, he's looking very comfortable in second. However, we go into the first Lesmo. He gets a couple of tyres on the curb like so, and just pushes him off the track into the sand, and he's lost all his momentum. And here comes Rod. South Ace is on the grass a bit too much, and that's Rod. He's taken second place from South Ace on the last lap. Nice work, mate. So, yeah, very interesting indeed that South Ace has made the critical error. He had second place sewn up, and all of a sudden, Rod has gone by. But we're going to Ascari. As you can see, South Ace is a lot stronger under the brakes than Rod is. We go out of Ascari into the back straight. South Ace is giving it everything he's got to get that second place back, but does it happen? We'll have to wait and see. On the back straightaway, he's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to get by Rod. We go into the Parabolica. Does it happen? Rod has gone a bit wide. South Ace has got nowhere to go. Then we've got contact. And Rod is going to grab second place as I cross the line for the win. I did not see that coming. I would have thought South Ace had second place all sewn up, but not the case. The results, it was myself, Rod, South Ace in the top three, Dopiest, Vermin, Lil Skeeter Boss, Sheep Dip, Reckless, Logie Bear, Giorgio Spondu, and Meravinian. And Max, unfortunately, got disconnected. So, yeah. The third race at Bathurst you'll see in a separate video. Be on the lookout for that. Combined points for the races you just saw will make up the grid for Bathurst. So yeah, if you like the video, smash the thumbs up button, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and if you want to see more on my channel, subscribe and tap the notification bell. Anyway, this is Jeff here and happy racing. Cheers.